If you'd asked me before the accident what my greatest fear was, I'd have said losing her. Not death, not failure, not pain, just losing her. Ironic, considering what came next. It was a Wednesday, one of those cruel blue sky days that feels like the universe is mocking you. I had just wrapped up a meeting at the office, still half distracted by my wife's text from earlier. My shoulder's killing me. Might need to cancel the hike this weekend. I offered to pick up dinner on my way home. I even remember the bag, Thai food, enough to feed 2.5 humans and maybe a small golden retriever. I was 3 blocks from home when I saw the car coming. A red SUV ran the light, T-boned me straight into a lamppost. Funny thing, I remember the crunch of metal but not the pain. I remember thinking, I hope the pad thai didn't spill. When I woke up in the hospital, my wife was there. Her mascara was smudged, and her hands trembled as she held mine. The doctors said I was lucky to be alive, but I didn't feel lucky. I couldn't move my legs, and the world felt like it had tilted sideways. I was paralyzed for 11 weeks. Not permanently. Spinal trauma, they called it. Touch and go. I'd need time. Rest. Rehab. So I quit my job. Walked away from a solid career with health insurance, retirement savings, the whole 9 yards. She told me not to. Said she'd manage. But I could see the cracks behind her smile. I was going to be her rock. Her full-time caregiver. Her husband. Her nurse. Her cheerleader. Her damn physical therapist, if I had to be. And when she broke down on the bathroom floor one night, sobbing because she couldn't hold a coffee cup without dropping it, I held her for hours. Whispered every promise I could muster. Promised her I'd never walk away. Even when I couldn't walk at all. Recovery is a funny thing. The doctors tell you it's linear, like some polite staircase where you climb a little higher each day. They lie. It's more like a drunk hiking trail. Sometimes you move forward, sometimes backward, and occasionally you just sit in the mud and cry. Only I didn't cry. I had work to do. While I relearned how to stand without collapsing, I helped her button her shirts. I brushed her hair when her hands wouldn't stop trembling. I cooked. I cleaned. I carried her emotionally, because physically, neither of us could carry the other. It was like trying to build a house with 2 broken hammers. The accident had left her with nerve damage down her left arm and shoulder. Temporary disability, the surgeon said. But that didn't make the dropped mugs or the sleepless nights any easier. There were days she couldn't even hold a fork. So I fed her, literally, and told her every day that she was strong, that this wasn't the end of us, that we'd come out stronger. She tried to smile. I tried to believe it. I gave up my job, my gym membership, my social life. And at some point, my name started to disappear too. I became the husband, the guy behind the woman in pain. You ever watch someone you love fade behind their own eyes? It's like standing in a burning building, trying to talk to someone who's already made peace with the flames. Then came him. Dr. Smiles. Her physiotherapist. Oh, he was charming. Tall. Confident. Said words like rotator cuff and posterior chain, with the ease of a man who's never folded laundry in a panic while the sink overflowed. I didn't think much of him at first. Hell, I was grateful. She was finally laughing again. Making progress. She came home glowing after sessions with him. And like an idiot, I thought it was the exercises. You ever miss the moment your world starts to crack? You think it's going to be loud, a boom, a crash, a scream. But no, betrayal tiptoes in wearing scrubs and a clipboard. And it always knocks twice before it walks right through the door. If there's a sound the soul makes when it snaps. It's not loud. It's quiet, too quiet really. Like a breath held too long. Like the pause before you say, wait, what did I just see? It was raining when I found out. Because of course it was. She had left her phone on the couch. Rare, because that thing might as well have been surgically attached to her since Dr. Smiles entered our lives. I was grabbing a blanket, trying to get her tea ready, when it buzzed. Once. Twice. Then again. Curiosity is a dangerous thing. I didn't plan to look, not at first. But something about the way it lit up over and over like a heart monitor spiked my pulse. I glanced. Just a glance. Can't wait for tomorrow. Face blowing a kiss. My place this time. My place. This time. That's when I knew. No more room for doubt. No more benefit of it either. I opened the thread. It was all there. Every emoji. Every miss you. Every he doesn't get you like I do. Every digital footprint of a betrayal that was already dancing in the real world. And then the pictures. Not explicit, just casual. Too casual. The kind of intimacy no one ever shares with their physical therapist. unless therapy now included cuddling shirtless under blankets. I didn't yell, didn't scream, didn't throw the phone. I just sat there, quiet, still, paralyzed again, but this time in a whole new way. By the time she came home from therapy, I had already seen the timeline. Text stretching back 3 months. The day he added resistance bands to her shoulder rehab? Yeah, she came home sore from that. Just not in the way she claimed. She walked in, shaking the rain from her coat, and kissed my cheek like nothing had happened, like I hadn't just read the truth. I looked at her, and for the first time, I didn't see my wife. I saw a stranger wearing her skin. Still, I didn't confront her. Not that night. You see, when you spent months crawling back from being broken, you learn to savor patience. I wasn't going to scream. I was going to build something. A story. A reckoning. There's a moment in every story where the protagonist stops reacting and starts planning. For me, that moment came while folding her laundry. She had left the room to take a phone call, one of those suspiciously whispered, "Let me call you right back," calls that used to mean nothing. Now I knew better. I was holding a pair of her leggings, the ones she always wore to physio, when I realized something. I wasn't hurt anymore. Not physically. Not really. The limp? Mostly gone. The tremors in my hand? Occasional. The pain? Still there, but more emotional than muscular. What I wasn't was weak. That was the last gift she gave me without knowing. Betrayal, when absorbed fully, doesn't just break you. It builds you, but not back into the person you were. No, it forges something colder, sharper, smarter. I started making notes. No, not the legal kind, though I did consult a lawyer friend eventually. I made creative notes. I recorded things. Not calls. I wasn't going to jail over this. But her lies? Her scheduling conflicts? Her weird new perfume she never wore before therapy? All logged. Meticulously. And the video? That started the day after I discovered the texts. I began filming what I called her recovery journey. Set up my old DSLR. Mounted it discreetly around the living room, the home gym, the kitchen. Told her it was for a documentary project, something to keep me busy and maybe inspire other couples. She even laughed and said, "You're too sweet." Too sweet. Right. I filmed her struggling to lift soup cans, grunting through stretches, icing her shoulder at the end of the day. I captured it all. Every win. Every setback. Every time she cursed at herself for being too slow to heal. And I was always there, holding the ice pack, cooking her meals, adjusting her pillow. You could practically see the halo over my head. But I wasn't making a recovery video. I was building a timeline. And I knew how it would end. Weeks passed. She grew stronger and more distant. Her smiles for me were polite. Her laughter for him? Loud. Unfiltered. I'd hear it in the background of her FaceTimes when she thought I was asleep. She was careless. People in love usually are. She had no idea the walls were watching her. My final piece of the puzzle arrived on a Sunday morning when she left her tablet open on the kitchen counter while she showered. I wasn't trying to snoop. At this point, I didn't have to. The truth just kept showing up. It was an email draft. Subject, "To my Swedish strength, Dr. J." She never sent it. Maybe she got interrupted. Maybe she got cold feet. But it was there. A full love letter to her healer. A poetic ode to the man who helped her find herself again. And right there in the middle of it. I don't know how to tell him. He's been everything. A saint. My rock. But I can't live a lie anymore. A lie. Right. Because I was the lie. That night, I edited the video. I worked for hours. Cut together every moment of support, every "look at her go" clip, every close-up of me wiping her tears. And then, at the halfway mark, I started layering in the text messages. The timestamps. A soft fade-in of her email draft. Audio from a recorded session, just her voice, innocently chatting with him as he walked her through shoulder rolls. Then laughter. Then the silence that said everything. I titled the video. I was the pillar. She was the shadow. And then I waited. I didn't upload it to social media yet. No. This wasn't about the world. Not yet. This was about her. And him. So I sent it to both of them. Unlisted YouTube link. No name. No message. Just the truth, gift wrapped in HD. She saw it the next morning. I heard her gasp from the bedroom. Then footsteps. Then her voice, ragged, scared. "We need to talk." I was already dressed. Calm. Ready. She stood there, pale as drywall. Her hands trembled, the same hands I'd massaged through pain just weeks before. "You saw the video." "I made the video," I replied. Silence. Tears started, but not the honest kind. No, these were tears for herself. For getting caught. For watching the mask melt in real time. It wasn't what it looked like. Stop. I didn't shout. I didn't flinch. Don't insult me with that. She started to speak again, so I held up a flash drive. You have two choices, I said. 1. You walk away clean. I get the house. I keep my name. You disappear from my life, and this video never sees the public. 2. You try to fight, you try to gaslight, and this video becomes viral before lunch. She blinked. She knew I meant it. Oh, and Dr. Smiles? He called me. He cried. Begged me not to ruin his practice. Said he had a family. I told him what he already knew. Maybe he should have thought of that before violating both his ethics and my home. I didn't post the video. Not publicly. But I made damn sure every person who needed to see it, family, friends, her coworkers, his clinic partners, got a personal email from me. With a little note. Sometimes, it's not the broken bones that destroy you. It's the ones you trusted while you healed. They say revenge is best served cold. I disagree. Revenge, when done right, isn't cold, it's clinical. Precise. Less like a meal and more like surgery. Cold is reckless. Cold gets caught. But precise? Precise keeps you clean. Sharp. Smiling in court. And smiling I was. After I sent the video to the key players in her life, the reaction was about what you'd expect. Her phone exploded for a week straight. Friends stopped calling. Her sister unfollowed her. Her mother, sweet, oblivious, always on her side Carol, sent me a 2-paragraph apology email that ended with, I raised her better than this. No, Carol, you didn't. But thanks for playing. Dr. Smiles went radio silent. His office issued a vague statement about misconduct allegations and internal review. His face disappeared from their website about 4 days after the video reached his board. I'm told he relocated. Somewhere warmer. Fitting. My wife, no, my former wife, tried to negotiate. She begged me not to push for alimony, not to involve lawyers, not to ruin what little peace she had left. I told her peace was for people who hadn't trampled on the hands that held them. We divorced quickly. Cleanly. Thanks to a little post-nup I had her sign during our recovery phase, something about estate planning, drafted by my lawyer friend who knew what was coming before she did. She'd signed it thinking I was just being smart. It gutted her claims like a fish. She left with her clothes, a few pieces of furniture, and a box of keepsakes that I didn't care enough to check. Everything else? Mine. But the house still smelled like her. So I changed everything. Repainted the walls. Tore out the carpet in the bedroom. Replaced our wedding photo with a framed image of a mountain summit I climbed on my own 6 years ago. A reminder, I didn't need anyone to lift me. And I certainly didn't need her. The community had taken sides. As they always do. Some folks looked at me like I was a wounded animal. Others, like I was a legend. The guy who stuck by his wife when she couldn't lift her own arm, and she thanked him by getting cozy with a man who said glut activation like it was foreplay. I wasn't either of those things. I was just awake now. Awake to what I'd allowed to grow under my roof. See, betrayal isn't just a one-time act. It's a garden. You have to water it. Protect it. Let it feed on neglect and lies and your partner's trust. She cultivated it. Carefully. And I buried it. Now you might be wondering, was that enough for me? No. Because here's the thing about justice. It's not about balance. It's about clarity. It's about making sure the person who burned your life knows they lit the match. And that you saw them do it. Eyes wide open. So I made a final move. A documentary. Not a real one. Not something for Netflix. Just a video I titled, The Anatomy of a Ghost. It was 30 minutes long. A quiet, slow-burning piece with black and white shots of our house, our old walks, footage from our recovery journey paired with narration. My narration. Soft-spoken. Calm. Almost tender. I talked about the accident. About what it cost. About what it taught me. And then I told the truth. Not just the affair. That part was old news by now. I told the truth about what it's like to love someone who forgets you when they're whole again. To be a crutch, not a partner. To carry someone through fire only to be left behind once they found new legs to stand on. And at the end, a line that stayed with people. I gave her everything when she was broken. And when she healed, she left me shattered. She'll recover again. But me? I won't rebuild this time. Because some ruins are meant to be visited, not restored. I didn't post it publicly. I sent it to exactly 12 people. All of them mutuals. Former friends of ours. A few of her colleagues. A few of mine. People who had smiled at our wedding, toasted at our dinner parties, and unknowingly watched a love die in real time. No commentary, just the link. Within days, she was a ghost in her own life. She moved cities, changed her last name, dropped mine like it was radioactive. I heard she went back to school. Something about therapy. I hope she learned something. I really do. As for me, I moved forward. Not quickly, not with some new woman or some Instagram-worthy healing journey. Just forward. One day, one lift, one run at a time. I got strong again. Physically, mentally. The kind of strong that doesn't show in the mirror, but in how you walk into a room knowing no one has the power to undo you. I kept one photo of us. Not for nostalgia. For perspective. She's smiling in it. I'm holding her up, literally. One of those she jumped into my arms shots. Back when things felt light. Back when I thought love was enough. I keep it in a drawer. And every now and then, when I'm tempted to forget who I am, I look at that photo and whisper, I was the pillar. She was the shadow. People talk about closure like it's a door you get to shut with a satisfying click. But betrayal doesn't give you that luxury. It gives you drafts. A breeze under the crack. A whisper through the keyhole that says, you're still here. I needed to bury it. So I staged a funeral. Not for her. Not for us. For the man I used to be. I drove to the crash site. Same corner where the red SUV had turned my car into a crumpled can of Thai food and spinal trauma. I brought with me a shoebox filled with the relics of our marriage. Not the big stuff. Not the rings. I'd already sold mine. Bought myself a barbell rack with the money. Inside the box was a handwritten anniversary card. A dried flower from our honeymoon. One of her old scrunchies she left behind. And the small, silver necklace she wore the day I proposed. I lit a match and dropped it in. I watched the flames eat my past, slow and silent, like they were doing me a favor. And when the fire died, so did the part of me that used to flinch when her name came up. You ever wonder what kind of man helps a woman cheat on her husband while pretending to heal her? I did. So I found out. Dr. J, real name Julian Whitaker, had built quite a career on being the intuitive healer. His practice thrived on referrals, testimonials, 5-star reviews from women who felt understood. I didn't want to ruin him publicly. That would be too fast, too loud. No, I wanted the slow bleed. The quiet kind that makes a man question every handshake he gets from then on. So I booked an appointment. Under a fake name. Used a prepaid card. Walked in with a limp I didn't have anymore and a story about a recent accident I made up on the fly. And when he saw me, he froze. Jason? Close, I said. But I go by Justice now. I didn't hit him. I didn't threaten him. I just talked. For 30 uninterrupted minutes, I told him every detail of how he'd been played. By her. By himself. By the idea that he was somehow safe. I told him that his career was already over, whether he knew it or not. That every board, every credentialing body, every potential investor would be getting the anonymous documentation I'd collected. Not to destroy him, just to inform them. I left a man in that office. But I walked out past a ghost. Months passed. I started running again. Built back my strength. Got a part-time gig consulting. Nothing crazy. Just something to keep the mind sharp and the bank account healthy. And one day, out of nowhere, she called. Blocked number. Voicemail. Hey, I saw the video. The one you sent. Not the first one. The second. The ghost one. You're right. I was selfish. You didn't deserve any of it. I don't know if this helps, but I am sorry. For everything. She paused. I hope you're doing better. You deserve to be. Then silence. I didn't call back. I didn't save the message. But I listened to it 3 times. Not for closure. Just for confirmation. She was finally behind me. I had one last thing to do. The full video, the documentary, the story, the betrayal, remained unseen by the world. But I still had it. Refined. Narrated. Ready. And one night, sitting alone on my balcony, whiskey in one hand and my laptop glowing in front of me, I hovered over the public button. Clicked. Within hours, the views started rolling in. Titled simply, He Gave Her Everything. No names. No faces. Just a story. My story. The response. Overwhelming. Thousands of comments. Men. Women. All pouring out their own tales of being the pillar for someone who mistook them for a doormat. I hadn't made a revenge video. I'd made a mirror. People saw themselves in it. And I saw myself finally healed. I live differently now. The house is quieter. Cleaner. filled with air and light, and only one toothbrush by the sink. I kept the space where her mirror used to hang empty, not out of grief, out of choice. Sometimes, I sit on my porch with a coffee and nod at the neighbors as they walk by. They smile at me differently now, like they know, like they saw the storm and waited to see if I'd sink or swim. Well, newsflash. I swam, and not toward someone new, not toward rebound love or pity dates or just getting back out there. I swam toward myself. Because here's the final truth, the one people like her never quite grasp. You can break a man. You can bruise him, scar him, humiliate him. But if that man is real, if he's forged in patience, loyalty, and purpose, then all you've done is help him burn away the weakness. You've made him unstoppable. I was the pillar. She was the shadow. And now? There's no more shadow. Only light. The end.